Welcome to Mr. English Cafe. Picture this, it's 11:30 p.m., you're exhausted. You tell yourself just 5 minutes of scrolling, then I'll sleep. Suddenly, it's 12:45 a.m., your eyes are burning, your neck hurts, and you feel empty. You didn't learn anything, you didn't feel better, you just stayed. Or, have you ever been at dinner with a friend, and as soon as they get up to use the restroom, you pull out your phone? You can't sit alone for even 60 seconds. Does that sound like you? Ask yourself, is your phone a tool you use, or is it a master that tells you what to do? Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. I'm Joe, your host and friend. I am so glad you are here today. Today, we are talking about something very close to my heart, the digital detox. We're going to look at why that little piece of glass in your pocket might be stealing your joy. Before we dive deep, if you find this episode helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps me reach more people who are trying to live a better life. Let's get into it. I want to be honest with you. I used to be a phone addict. I'd wake up and check my emails before I even said good morning to my wife. Why do we do this? It's not because you are weak. It's because of something called dopamine. Think of dopamine like a tiny reward chemical in your brain. Every time you see a like, a red notification, or a funny video, your brain gets a tiny hit of pleasure. App developers use something called infinite scrolling. You know how Instagram or TikTok never ends. It's designed like a slot machine in a casino. You keep pulling the lever, hoping for one more good video. But the more we scroll, the more anxious we feel. We compare our real, messy lives to the perfect, filtered lives of strangers. We feel FOMO, the fear of missing out. But friends, while we are busy looking at the screen, we are missing the real world. We are missing the smell of the rain, the sound of our children laughing, and the peace of our own thoughts. I want to share a quote from a famous author named Annie Dillard. She is a Pulitzer Prize winner known for her beautiful writing about nature and the spirit. She once said, "How we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives." Think about that deeply. Annie Dillard spent years observing the small details of nature, the way a moth flies or how light hits a creek. She teaches us that life isn't made of big, rare moments. It is made of these tiny minutes right now. If you spend 4 hours a day on your phone, that is 28 hours a week. That's more than a full day every week. Over a lifetime, that is years of your life spent looking at a screen. Is that how you want to spend your one beautiful life? Another great source of wisdom is the book Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport. Newport is a computer science professor, so he understands technology very well. He argues that we shouldn't just use less technology. We should only use tools that match our deepest values. In his book, he says, "The urge to check Twitter is not a fundamental biological need. It feels like a need, doesn't it? It feels like we must check, but we don't." Newport explains that our brains actually need solitude, time where we are alone with our own thoughts without any input from other people. Without it, we lose the ability to solve hard problems or stay calm during stress. So, how do we fix this? I don't want you to throw your phone in the trash. We need them for work and family. But we can set deep boundaries. Here are 3 things to try. 1. The no-phone bedroom. This is about more than just sleep. When you use your phone in bed, your brain stays in work mode or social mode when it should be in rest mode. The blue light stops your body from making melatonin, the sleep hormone. My suggestion: buy a simple $10 alarm clock. Charge your phone in the living room. This makes your bedroom a sacred space for rest and connection with your partner, not a place for work emails. 2. Turn off non-human notifications. Most notifications are just digital noise. They are designed by companies to grab your attention. My suggestion: go into your settings, turn off every notification that doesn't come from a real person. Keep calls and texts from family, but turn off likes, news alerts, and shopping apps. This puts you back in control. You check the apps when you want to, not when the app screams at you. 3. The 20-minute boredom rule. Boredom is actually a gift. It is the space where creativity is born. When we are bored, our brains start to wander, which helps us process our emotions. When you feel the uncomfortable itch to check your phone while waiting for a bus or a coffee, wait 20 minutes. Sit with the boredom. You will feel anxious at first, but after 20 minutes, your mind will settle. You'll start to notice the world around you, and that itch will disappear. To wrap things up, remember that your attention is the most valuable thing you own. Companies spend billions of dollars to steal it from you. When you put the phone down, you aren't missing out. You're gaining your life back. You're gaining your peace back. It will be hard at first. You might feel lonely or bored. But on the other side of that boredom is creativity, calm, and true happiness. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I hope you felt a little bit of warmth and encouragement in these words. Let's recap. We talked about how dopamine keeps us trapped, how our days become our lives, and how small boundaries like keeping the phone out of the bedroom can change everything. Here is my deep question for you today. If you didn't have a phone for 24 hours, what is the one thing you've been ignoring? A hobby, a person, or a dream that you would finally have time to do? Think about that. Write it down. Maybe even try to do it today. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, like, and share this episode with someone who looks at their phone a little too much. Let's help each other wake up to the real world. I'm Joe. Take care of your heart, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Goodbye. Thanks for joining us. In this podcast, you've learned the following. Let's read aloud. How we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives. How we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives. The urge to check Twitter is not a fundamental biological need. The urge to check Twitter is not a fundamental biological need. Moth. A large moth was fluttering around the porch light on the warm summer night. She found a few small holes in her favorite wool sweater, likely caused by moths. He knew the relationship was dangerous, but he was drawn to her like a moth to a flame. Solitude. The author rented a small cabin in the mountains to find the solitude he needed to write his new novel. While some people fear being alone, she deeply values her daily moments of quiet solitude. After spending the entire day at a noisy conference, he welcomed the solitude of his hotel room. Feel free to read it aloud. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave a comment below.